Hey guys, this is the Dog, and I'm going to have a terrible, terrible playtime in this game. Not that I really pay attention to playtime ever, but I'm going to have a terrible, terrible playtime in this game because I just left it paused for a really, really long time while I was editing some video footage because of some weird stuff that happened with the last two episodes. Due to me stopping recording and starting again when the first one of the two wasn't quite finished. Anyway, we're back here in the Magmoor Caverns, and there's an elevator, which actually goes to Tallon Overworld, to a couple of rooms that we haven't quite been in. I'm not going to go there yet, though, because there's not really much we can do there. Oh, actually, there's even less we can do here. This is another of these magnetic rail places. And there's no way to get across the lava without it. So, yeah, this room is totally useless. I may have been thinking of another time when we can take an optional route in here, or a different optional route we can take, but for some reason I was thinking we could accomplish more by going down that other path in there. Maybe it was just that missile expansion that we got there. But there's actually a couple of different doors still in the monitor station we were in earlier where we had the option to go on multiple different paths, so I'm going to try all of them, see what I can do right now, but for now, here we are up on the Tallon Overworld, and why do I do this every time? Force of habit, I guess. It doesn't actually, you don't actually need to activate the elevator on both ends. You know, I'm getting kind of a flickery picture on this TV. There's a zoomer. I wonder if, ooh, actually, there's something good here. I wonder if some cables got kind of pulled. Here's a missile expansion. Because when I first started recording, or first tried to record with, like, test footage, I noticed, the picture on the screen was kind of flickery and unpleasant and weird. But I fixed it, but it turns out I had simply the cables weren't pushed together enough. I don't know what better way I can phrase that. But the picture seems to have improved just now, so who knows, I guess I just kind of pulled on them. Maybe I tripped over them or something. Anyway, here we are in this root cave that this root tunnel area connected to earlier, but I'm still not sure if we can do anything with it, other than it gets us a shortcut back to our ship. Yeah, at the moment I think this is pretty useless, but I guess beetles. There were not 6 beetles. Everyone knows there were 5. There actually was a 5th beetle. Before they got Ringo, they had some other random drummer. Don't know what his name was. But anyway, enough talk about the Beatles, because why not? The Beatles were awesome. Well, regardless of views about beetles of any type, I guess we couldn't get through that blast shield earlier. No, I guess we can't kill the blood flower with just the power beam and missiles. I was mistaken. We can kill it with other beams we'll get later on, but it looks like, as of now, the only way to get rid of it is to reflect its poison back at it. But, I don't believe we can get up here. Yeah, oh yeah, we need to get the grapple beam before we can really do anything else in this room. So, that was pretty much a pointless detour. Let's head back to the Magmoor Caverns. Please let this be loud enough, please let this be loud enough, please let this be loud enough. Yes, okay. We'll go with that. Sorry, that was just an audio test. Yeah, totally professional. No, I have been... That's my main worry hear when I record is usually the audio issue because of the kind of awkward placement of my mic, and the fact that it tends to pick up sound fairly quietly. Combined with the fact that I don't want to be too loud, because then people upstairs will hear me. I'm kind of self-conscious about that. But anyway, back in the Magmoor Caverns, only way we can go is this one. And the Magmoor's on the other side, so nothing to fight until he's gonna basically ambush us right here. Sometimes you can actually hurt him with bombs. I'm gonna kill him for no good reason. I guess I'm just mean like that. Oh, incoming scan data. Foreign technology present. Active transport located. Oh, this is just in case you somehow managed to get lost in the Magmoor Caverns, which is an extremely linear area. It's going to tell us where our transport to the next area is. I'm not going to talk about the next area until we get there, but it's one of my favorite areas in the game. Although there's only really 5, I guess technically 6, but basically 5 areas in the game, so... And, well, I like all of them, so... Well, in different ways. I like some better than others, but... Still, I guess that says something good for the developers, that I pretty much like all the areas in the game. The Chozo Ruins are an area you spend a lot of time in early in the game, but there's some stuff that'll happen later that make them kind of annoying to be in. So they're probably one of my least favorite. My favorites are probably the Tallon Overworld and the next area we're going to go into. Of course, if you really wanted to find that out, even though I'm sure we'll be arriving there in this same episode, if you really wanted to find that out without finishing the episode for some reason, you could just go back and pause the video and read the name, but probably half of you have already played this game anyway. Defense turrets. Just going to kill them with missiles because I have 50 missiles, which is pretty good for this stage in the game, and they're irritating, so I want to kill them. Get some health there. Aha! The puffer is going to kindly restore our missiles. Call them what you will. No. For a second that looked like a new scan. Like this is... no, never mind. First I thought that piston thingy there was a scan. For some reason, there are some points in the game where you can, you know, the bits of technology around are scans, and I think there's a, yeah, hello. No, I looked away for a second because I had my head kind of bent down to, so for talking into my mic better, and ended up missing some of what was going on screen. That's a problem. I wonder if I need a better mic or something. Maybe a headset mic would be handy. Any signs of magma predator activity to Security Central at once. Whose Security Central would this be? Oh. Local crystal formations possess low phazon residue. Phazon again? They do have high value to the monks of Grondheim, however. Recommend processing of crystal for that market once phazon operations cease. Okay, that's something I always forget about. That one random reference. I have no idea. Monks of Grondheim? I'm pretty sure this is the only time monks of Grondheim are mentioned in any Metroid game. That doesn't sound like something that belongs in a Metroid game. Geothermal power sources commenting. Prompts recommend energy command. Deactivate central dynamo and switch to geothermal power at once. So someone's interested in using this place for energy. I think geothermal power is pretty clean. Whatever. Yeah, Monks of Grondheim. That does not sound like something that belongs in a Metroid game. That sounds like something you'd see in, like, Skyrim or something. Okay, so it looks like we can't get to any of the other door in that area yet, because it requires... wait a minute. Okay, never mind. Because we can't jump up to that platform yet. And we can't do anything in this room other than just go through to the door. I think there might be a missile tank or something we can get in there. that we can't get, but I might be totally mistaken, because that didn't look like any area we could just double jump or anything. It might just be a transport tunnel. I tend to lose track of the different transport tunnels, because they're all kind of similar. You know, all those little morph ball tunnels. Anyway, here we are in the next area, Phendrana Drifts. As you may have guessed, if you looked at the, not gonna scan those, totally unnecessary. As you may have guessed, if you noticed the map earlier, it's Phendrana Drifts is an icy area, of course. So these walls of ice, there's no real point to them, because they don't, like, reappear later or anything. You just have to destroy them this once, and all you have to do is missile them. But anyway, here we are in the Phendrana Drifts. Definitely one of my favorite areas in the game. It's always snowing, there's ice, there's water, there's some tough enemies, but oh well. So this, again, we've run into one of these rooms that's sort of a central hub. So counting the door we just came out of, there's 6 different exits to this place. But some of them, like, loop back around and connect to each other. This first area of the Phendrana Drifts is not as huge as you might think from the fact that there's 6 doors there. But anyway, our handy scan visor is just going to tell us that there's a save station there. Let's scan this new enemy here. This is a crystallite, territorial cold weather scavenger. The shell of a crystallite reflects beam weapons and can only be cracked by a concussive blast. They hang upside down in an ice cave during their larval stage. Moisture runs off its body and forms the hard ice shell, which the crystallite retains for the rest of its life. Because apparently it never gets warm enough here for ice to melt, even though there's water. Whatever. Not gonna question. New personnel must report to the South Research Facility. Failure to report will be penalized by a 30% ration cut and extra duty. Starvation is not a good training tactic. At least not for dogs. Western Temple is in Phase 2 lockdown. That sounds dangerous. Ballistics support personnel report to Research Lab Hydra. Lockdown containment plan 3A in effect until further notice. Contaminant. That is a word if you spell it differently, but I'm just talking awkwardly today. It's the water, man. It's the water. You're gonna just get parched, die of thirst. All in the name of recording. Here's another new enemy that I may or may not be able to scan. Here we are. This is a flicker bat. This is not a particularly important enemy. They pose no threat to you in this room. Except there might be a little bit of platforming where they can be irritating. There's only like 2 rooms in the game where they're actually important at all. But, you can't lock onto them with the regular visor. Later on we'll get a special visor where we can see them, but you can still shoot them if you're good/lucky and have nothing better to do with your time, like me. Actually, I do have better things to do with my time, but I really don't care. I have summer homework. It sucks. I'm not looking forward to next school year. Anyway, I think... yeah, okay, you can just blow that up with a missile. So that door up there, you may notice, it's hard to see, but it's locked. So we just want to blow that up, come through here, and scan this little panel. So obviously some technologically advanced civilization has colonized this area, because there are all those panels we scanned with the, you know, personnel report to this or that research lab. But who could it be? I'm acting! Okay. There's another thing I should promise never to do again. Anyway, let's go through this door. And another wall of ice to blow up, and this is actually a new enemy. It looks very similar to the pulse bomb used from earlier, but this is a scatter bomb which has these little electricity beams rotating around it, and it'll just guard these little round pathways, and it does mess up your visors if you stand close to it. And it actually starts to move faster if you charge your beam. Kind of like how the other bomb users were attracted to you when you charge your beam. But anyway, I did a poor job of it there, but... and there. Wow, I'm terrible at the Morph Ball today. But basically, you just go into Morph Ball mode and slip between the beams, and later on we'll get a weapon that'll let us destroy Bomb-Use, which will make those guys a lot less annoying. And speaking of annoying enemies, here's something that I was always terrified of when I was younger. I was so bad at killing these things that combined with their intimidating appearance, they scared the crap out of me when I first played this game. But I was pretty young when I first played this game. This is a baby Sheegoth. Glacial Predator. Ice Shell protects vulnerable dorsal area, and I'm not going to read the whole bio for everything. But they have a resilient shell of ice on their backs, but even though it's supposed to be a resilient shell, it's actually their weak point. So basically, sort of like those plated beetles earlier, and wow, they both woke up when I shot the one. And, wow, they're really moving in sync. Sort of like the plated beetles earlier, they're going to, wow, they're ugly. Look kind of like the things from the aliens. But, well, I made pretty quick work of them there. They don't actually have great defenses, it's just that they're only weak on their backs. But basically, they'll take a few hits to destroy the ice shell, and then another couple hits to actually kill them. There are a couple of these ice ruins areas. This is Ice Ruins East, and here's some crates we can blow up. Always fun. But yeah, Sheegoths, you can just use the dash to strafe around them, and it makes them pretty easy to kill, especially when you Aha, yes. There's some magnetic rail that will let us get a missile tank here later, but not right now. Yeah, Sheegoths are pretty easy to kill if you just use the strafe well. Guess I'll blow these guys up, even though they don't really pose much of a threat. They only hurt you if you bump into them. Kind of like Zoomers or Grisbees, only icy. Oh god, not bees. Remember earlier I said burrowers were annoying? I think this is really the reason I said burrowers were annoying. Ice burrowers are even more annoying. I'm pretty sure they have a way to actually freeze you. Maybe I'll let myself get hit by one of their attacks so I can test this out. If he can hit me. His aim is awful. No, maybe not. Maybe I'm confusing him with something else. But, they're not that different from burrowers, really. They're just slightly bluer. Ah! And they irritate me, especially when they're in large groups. This stuff looks a lot like, a certain other substance, but apparently it's just ice. It doesn't hurt you. Here we are up here. So you can see, you know, 2 of those doors just led to this area that we are going to use to get up to this higher area. Depending on how much time this takes, I might be calling it an episode any minute now, because this has run on for a while. Yeah, see, that's the issue I mentioned earlier with the loading times that they disguised using the doors. It can actually, if there's an enemy you're having trouble with and you're just trying to like run past him, that can actually get you killed. Because they'll like shoot you in the back while you're waiting for the door to open. Ah, whoa, you're right here. And you're not very good at the whole keeping your back protected thing. Oh well. Let's go down here. Blow up this blast shield. Go through this tunnel. I'm just going to say, screw the Morph Ball thing. Wow, actually, what am I? Oh, I was stuck up against a wall. Yeah, I suck at dealing with these scatter bomb-use. Anyway, here's a rather interesting little area, the Phendrana Canyon. But I'm going to call this an episode, because it's been running on for a while, and we will see what there is to see in this canyon next time.